Ladies and gentlemen, Groovin In The Park 2023. We are back for our 10th year anniversary, and we have brought what I think will be a historic moment, a continental sound clash featuring none other than David Rodigan. David Rodigan, thank you so much for sitting down with me today. How are you?
Well, from the continent, almost. Greetings and hello, New Yorkers. I can't wait to return to the Big Apple and take a big chunk out of it. I'm really looking forward to Grooving in the Park, and thank you for inviting me online.
Listen, I'm a little nervous about the sound clash. In terms of being an audience member, I think it's a very strong cast with yourself, Bass Odyssey, Yard Beats, and Dynamq sound. But I also know that you're a winner.
Well, we've all won in our own ways. I mean, Bass Odyssey have been my nemesis over the years, especially in the days of Squingy and Mark. Ask any of the diehard old school dancehall fans, they'll know that. Squingy was somebody who I held in the highest esteem. And Mark, I thought they really were, and that's not to disrespect in any way the new team, of course. But time is the master, and this is something that happened some considerable time ago when I first took my gloves off and got in the ring with these guys and had fun in Jamaica and so on and so forth. And the thing about clashing is it should be fun. If it isn't fun, then it's not entertaining. If it gets personal, it gets boring. You know, it's not a bloodbath. It's music, and music brings people together. But as Barry G said to me, and I'll never forget it, in 1983 at 8 o'clock, JBC Radio 1 is the latest news. Dancehall reporting. Beg your pardon. Barry said Jamaicans love contests. So what we're going to do now, this was him giving me 20 seconds warning, is we're going to clash. He said, because Jamaicans will contest anything. Two crabs crossing the road, they'll bet on which one gets to the other side first. He said, so Jamaicans love contests, let's make it a contest and let's make it fun. That was 83, me and Barry G on JBC Radio 1, and I started clashing with Jamaican Sound Systems in 91 with Bodyguard in Maypen, Clarendon. So I've been in it a while. It's not my first rodeo, as they say in America, but I really am looking forward to doing it in the park because it is a continental clash. You know, Afrique, Dynamq representing Mother Africa, Bass Odyssey, the West Indies and the Americas. Dun, 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 dun. And, oh yeah, of course.
Yard Beat.
Yard Beat, forgive me, Yard Beat for Japan and the Far East. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And the rounds are interesting as well. And I hasten to add that I think the second round is probably one of the most interesting that's ever been set up in a clash, because each individual team has to specifically think of a specific song that reflects a mood and attitude, something very poignant. And they are, as in case people didn't know, the first song that has to be played is a song celebrating health and care workers and all they did for us. The second song that represents racism and the black struggle. The third song, Make Up to Break Up, Affairs of the Heart. The fourth song, Salute to Jamaica. Well, I can think of half a dozen songs immediately on that subject. And finally, thanking the audience. So aside from dub plates and all the hype and so on, selectors have actually got to think about what they're going to play and what they're going to say. That'll be a very interesting round, and I'm really looking forward to that particular round. And of course, as you can imagine, Jamila, I'm also looking forward to dub for dub, one for one, because that's when I have to take the weight out, the lead weights out of my boxing gloves, because I don't need any lead weights in my boxing gloves for that round, because I've got some big dubs, but so have the others. And Dynamq, watch out, he's hot, he's fresh, but he's not a new kid on the block. He may be new in terms of, okay, he's relatively new in the scene, but he's been around some time and he really cares about the music. And of course, Yard Beat, you know, you have to watch those guys. And of course, Bass Odyssey, I mean, be careful, you have been warned. Those guys from country, those guys from St. Anne, those guys are hard and heavy dudes. So
that's how I feel as just an audience member. So I can't imagine what it feels like putting that crate together. So I always liken the sound clash to boxing, but not just boxing, like the height of boxing in its greatest day of talent, skill, thought, movement. And, you know, you have to be quick on your feet, right? Like for boxing, they train hard on everything because they don't know what's going to come at them. How in the world you can come up with 5 songs for each of those categories, and if you're the 4th person to play, those tunes could have been played already.
You got it. So if you're 5th, and I've been 5th in a play out, you know, I've been the last one to play and it's when you're last to play, that's the hardest place to play. But you know what it does? It gives you grit. It toughens you up. You look up your talawa. You have to draw yourself up by your bootstrings and say, do you know what? I'm in this to win this, and I ain't going to give up until I throw my last punch. So as you say, like boxing, got to be fit. You're fit, you have to fit, you have to fit it. And you have to be fit, you have to be sharp, you have to think very fast, because if you come too rigid with your game plan, you're going to find yourself in a whole heap of trouble. You've got to be able to switch in a split second. You've got to think of a speech that will crash that speech, that will counteract that speech. And it's all about counteractions as well. Often the speech can be bigger than the dog.
I think that would definitely trip me up, not knowing what to say. Do you think that you need, I mean, you are David Rodigan, MBE. And so you
and OD, Jamaica government, which was for me the highest honor. I mean, the Jamaican government to give me an order of distinction for services to Jamaican music and culture in the world. I mean, that I was absolutely blown away by that, Jamila.
You're also known as the encyclopedia of dancehall and reggae. So obviously you have all the thoughts in your mind, but most people, I think that you would think they would need a mic person and not just, you know, okay, I'm thinking of, you know, what record to play next, and you do the chat. Do you find it hard to do both?
I have at times, definitely, which is why Pee Wee from New York, big up Pee Wee, has often in the past when I've done sound clashes, world clash in Jamaica, and even in New York, he's been my mixer. He's the guy that's putting them to, because he can mix them like razor blade. Chop, 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 chop. I couldn't mix a cake, frankly. So, but this isn't a mixing that kind of a round, that kind of a thing. I mean, I've got to play some tunes for first 10 minutes. You got to play songs for 10 minutes, and I've got to carefully choose them. But primarily, in most good clashes, of course, you have the selector and you have the mic man. But with me, in more recent times, I've been doing it on my own. And it's been fun. It's been challenging as well. There have been times when I wish I had someone to just mix them together for me, because when you got to do both, it can be a little, you have to watch the pace of it. But I'm sure, I mean, I know Pee Wee's going to be on stage with me, and I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun. So, and this is the thing, this is what I want to say to New Yorkers. The feeling that I got from Groovin In The Park the first time I went there as a guest of Christopher and the team, and I'm coming as a guest again, of course, apart from the fact that I was given such a tumultuous reception, is the fact that it's summer. It's actually the day after my birthday. It's my birthday on Saturday, but it's summer. It's summer in New York. I mean, come on. New York is New York, and if you live in New York, and the thing about New Yorkers and Jamaicans in New York and West Indians in New York, and people who love reggae music, is they love it and they know about it. So when you play in New York, for me, it's like a joy, because I know as deep as I go in my box, they're going to get it. They will know where I am, where I'm coming from. Whether it's an old vintage Treasure Isle, a Studio One, it doesn't matter. A King Tubby's, as I know it, as I play it, I know that they know it. Yeah. It's not like some territories you go to and that people are like, what's he playing? I don't know what he's playing. New York? No, no, no. You better dig deep in your box, because New Yorkers are not easily fooled.
I agree, but I know you're prepared. I know you're ready. Okay, so I am 100% with you. There are people that are coming who this is their 10th time coming. They've seen you other places. They want to hear that you go way down in the crates. And what if they want to bring friends and family who are not familiar with the sound clash culture? What should they tell those people?
Tell those people they're going to have a lot of fun, because if they've never experienced it before, they're going to experience it for the first time. And believe you me, this didn't pop up the other day. The thing about Jamaican sound clash culture is it is now a universal phenomenon. Universal phenomena. Let's face it started in the 50s and early 60s with the Duke Reeds and Prince Busters and Trojan sound system and Cox, and playing the loudest they could, playing the most exclusive white labels they could. And in recent years, it's developed and developed. And now we have this culture called sound clash, which is, I mean, Red Bull did a sound clash. There are sound clashes all over the world. There are sound systems all over the world run by people who are not Jamaicans, who weren't born in Jamaica. So when you think that there is one island in the Caribbean called Jamaica, and I think it was Chris Blackwell that said this, you can go to Austria, you can go to Australia, you can go to Italy, and you will hear, of course, the music of those countries, in those countries. But you won't hear the music of any other country apart from pop music in those countries, apart from reggae. You can go to the heart of Vienna, the heart of Berlin, any major capital city in the world, any country in the world, and you will hear the music of an island in the Caribbean called Jamaica. You won't hear the music of that country. You won't hear Austrian music necessarily in Belgium. This is the phenomena about Jamaican music. And this is why it really is incredible, isn't it? That it just has this impact universally, and it's deeply and dearly loved. So consequently, if you're saying to people, what is with Sound Clash? Sound Clash is about Jamaicans having fun, contesting each other, being a bit boasty, being a bit cocky, being a bit arrogant, being a bit, you know, I can do this, and one too many can't do that. And, you know, the kind of draw card, the speech. You know, there are some selectors who are so bombastic in the way they speak that sometimes the dubs can't even match what they play, but it doesn't matter because it's the joy and it's the fun of it. And I would suggest to people who are not sure about it, come along, and I think they will not be disappointed. I think they'll be actually very, very happy. They'll be entertained, because that's what we are here to do. That's what everyone at Groovin, who's working on the Groovin team, that's what everyone's here to do, to entertain the public on a Sunday afternoon into the evening with all the cookouts and all the food. I mean, Christopher, we all know he loves to cook. In fact, I couldn't even find Christopher the first time when I went there before. I didn't even see him on stage. Where's Christopher? He's somewhere out there cooking some chicken, you know, because he's got his restaurant, he loves his cooking, he loves his food. So it's a family day. Bring the family, have fun, lots of good vibes, lots of love in the park. We're grooving on a Sunday afternoon, me and my baby.
I'm going to leave it right there. I'm going to leave it right there. You said so much. You've got us entertained already. And so we are ready. I want to wish you safe travels. Can't wait to meet you in person. We'll be grooving in the park. June 25th, 2023.
Over, but not out. Thank you.
Thank you.